Pause and Power podcast, a space for women who do everything for everybody and finally learning to do something for themselves. Join host Verdell Osborne, author, speaker, and founder of the Pause and Power Institute. But more than that, a woman who has been strong for so long she had to learn how to soften again. And every week on this podcast, we're going to talk for real about healing, about rest, about love, about identity, about leadership, about what it feels like to be everything for everyone except yourself. No pretending, no performing strength for approval, no shrinking to keep the peace. Just honest conversations about what it looks like to choose yourself without guilt, without losing your people, and without abandoning your pause. You don't have to disappear to be valued. You don't have to break to be seen. You don't have to carry it all alone anymore. So take a breath, settle in. You're in a safe place. Let's talk.
Welcome to the Pause and Power podcast, When Love Reigns. My name is Verdell Osborne. My husband and I are the founders of Pause and Power Institute, where we help people really find their voice after trauma. Many of us have been through situations that sometimes leave you jolted. You don't even really know what to do next. But my husband and I are here to really talk about what it means to move forward after the storm. After you've gone through something, you really don't know what to do. We want to talk about 30 years that our marriage of lived experiences have taught us on how to move forward. My father used to always say, trouble doesn't last always. So we're here today to kind of introduce our podcast, talk about some of our experiences, and really bring you into our space. One of the things that we'll share is the introduction of She Shed, a sanctuary, where we found space to breathe. And we want to help you breathe, not fixing you or not taking away your problems, but really identifying areas that have worked for us. And so let me take a little time to introduce my husband, and then I'll come back and introduce myself.
Hello, how y'all doing? This is Darnell Osborne, and me and my wife is very passionate about learning about what people are going through and the things that change in their lives. But we have an answer to a lot of things, to a lot of questions. We are a blended family. We have 15 grandchildren. We have 5 kids. And we just had a great grandbaby. And I tell you something, man, when I see young people today, all the situations that's going on in their lives, I just think that there's a chance that they have the opportunity to be able to be better than what they are. So I just believe that with our help and y'all agreeing with us to be able to sit down and talk, as my wife said, at the breakfast table. We do daily prayer together. We pray for our children, our grandchildren, our nieces and nephews, and everything that goes on. I just want to tell y'all and encourage y'all that you are not alone. We believe in what we're doing, and we will show you how to help you on your way.
Thank you, Darnell. Can you talk a little bit about your experience with young people, especially behaviorally challenged young adults that find themselves in situations that they really don't know what to do, and they're responding to anger? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Wow. I'm going to be honest with you. There is no such thing as a youth that's not in trouble. I have seen graduates and things like this. We got, higher academia. They want to go and do things, but there's always a level of parenting that changes the kids because they got an influence of others. You have to realize that, man, somebody spends more time with your children than you do. And and they were in high school and stuff. I had seen them just march over to something and you wonder what's the change that happened to them. And it's because they run into the wrong influences. And I like to share some things with y'all to let y'all know that, man, you are not alone. You got to realize what's the habit that has broken in your child's life. If they start being standoffish or talking to you any kind of way, you have to find out what is going on in their lives. And literally, nobody eats together no more. Nobody talks with their children anymore. We learned that we had to put our phones down when we're talking because you always navigate over to something else. But I'm being honest with you, y'all. I mean, y'all. It's got everything to do with being connected with your children because you got to find out what's different, what has changed, and what you have to build up in them. And it takes a village to raise a child. And you have to realize that this is the things that's going on in their life. What do you think, my baby?
Absolutely. So I appreciate you taking that time because that's important. And I want to tell you a little bit about my experience as a leader, as a life coach, as a training professional. I've spent most of my time in healthcare, training and developing. Um, and recently, which is one of the things that we'll talk about, is trauma and situations, disruption. Sometimes pause happens in your life. And it's what you do with the pause, what you do with the time after a situation has happened. So many times we think as women, um, our life ends after a job ends or after a career change. But our experience, our skills, they are still a part of us.
Yes.
And many times we get um, almost destroyed because something happens. But we're here to talk about how do you bounce back? How do you have an opportunity, create a plan, a roadmap to help you bounce back after trauma? So I could sit here and tell you all about my experience, but what's important is the lessons that we've learned together over the years. Not just about career, not just about um, marriage or just life. What it's really about is how did we sustain our marriage?
Yes.
How do we overcome these situations that are definitely going to come up? But how do we overcome them? And many times, you have a single parent or a woman that has went through something with their job or their career, and the family is left behind trying to pick up the pieces or trying to help each person kind of survive when things get tight. But we're here to, kind of share with you some of our stories and things that we have experienced that have helped us and still help us learn to love each other, leave a legacy, and most importantly, have tips and tools that we can share with you that have helped us along our journey.
Yes. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Let me tell you a little bit about me. Okay, me and my wife are like the odd couple.
We are.
She's very serious, down to earth, and I'm 60 years old, and I love to have fun. And and everybody wonders why that I can just bond with young people. It's because I've been working with. I know what I see is that they want to be loved. They want to be treated as individuals. And we just have to make sure that they get back to where they at. And I just tell you, man, I am so excited about this podcast because it meant this has been a dream of my wife and myself that we always talking because we do more counseling at our house and people coming over with their children and doing things. So I just want to tell y'all that we're here for y'all. And in the comment sections and stuff, y'all want to leave us some comments and ask us what you want us to talk about, we'll be surely happy to do that. But like I said earlier, my personality, y'all will see later that what I mean by the odd couple, because I love to have fun. I will tell you in a heartbeat that you need to live, I need to live, we all need to live together. And I give it back over to my wife.
And you're bringing up something that is so important because in relationship, in community, in family, there comes trouble, there comes circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
but it's how you respond to it. And one ingredient that we have made sure that has been implemented in our lives and in our marriage is laughter.
Yes.
It keeping each other upbeat. Because sometimes things come at you and they just knock you off your feet. And as my husband talked about, I can be pretty serious, but every marriage and every relationship really needs to think about what is it that you bring to the table that can benefit both of you.
Yes.
And it's our strength. Our strengths have really come from understanding each other's temperament.
Yes.
Understanding when the other needs rest or sanctuary. And that sanctuary really keeps each other grounded. And what I mean by that is time alone, time to share, time to pray, and that brings me to my second, tool that you need in a relationship to help you through circumstances is prayer.
Yes.
And prayer is so important. And the third thing is really accepting each other for who you are. And then allowing that blended family, everyone in that's connected to the family to feel like they matter, that they're important. And people they need that. We need that as people. So today, we just wanted to spend some time with you sharing about the future episodes and what we'll be talking about, and sharing those times at the breakfast table that many times there's things that we don't talk about. Love never fails, but silence does. So we have to talk about things that will help us all move forward and all stay connected and in a positive way. That's what this is all about. So we want to thank you for joining us with Pause and Power When Love Reigns podcast. Stay tuned for more episodes, and thank you so much for joining.
Bye.